One's up under the window on here.
I got him.
Oh, they're on you one, dude. Oh shit, he's in the garage. Going to A.
Got him.
Nice.
Let's call out. 2v1. Oh, get off my game,
Oh,
bitch!
fuck yeah, dude.
9-0, bro.
You'll have like half-inch thick pallets.
I'm going A.
I got one.
I'm landing.
Yeah, he's us!
It's alright. Daddy will clean it up.
Like, yeah. I love how it's Cartman's left.
Bitch.
Nice.
Woo!
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I just watch this. I just fragged the fuck out.
What's up, guys? Good morning. So we're going to catch up on some of the CDL matches that happened yesterday. I already watched the Heretics and I believe it was Optic. Close series. Optic ended up winning in a map 5, Search and Destroy. So now we're going to watch Toronto Koi in FaZe Vegas. So hope you guys enjoy it. If you guys are hanging out, make sure to be vocal in the chat if you guys are watching, just so we can sort of go through things, and I'm going to sort of be watching and analyzing and stuff too. So let's get into it a little bit here.
I mean, Koi right now, they're just out, lights out in respawn. Great in hardpoint, unbelievable in overload. I think if you're Vegas, you're going to have to show me something here in the map number 1 if you want to stand a chance versus this lineup.
Here we go. Let's get locked in. We got FaZe Vegas and Toronto Koi. Last matchup of the 2025 year, and let's get it on. Exposure Hardpoint has been gracing us all weekend long, it feels like. And after the opening start for Toronto, it's a booster to get things back in the mix for FaZe as they...
Well, FaZe is just clamped on that shit right now.
Completely isolated.
The ARs with the cover fire. Draws and Abu's already off to a great start. 5-1 combined. You dominating all the mid-map control. You have control of long alley as well, and just coordinating so far what and what not you want to challenge, but you challenge the
Insight.
Insight lines up all 4 for the final 15 seconds. Teammates should be free off the rotation, but Vegas get the
No, Vegas are going to have the rotation for sure. For sure.
The two over the top. He's able to really clear that space out. Definitely a player to watch for. We'll talk the narratives and storylines as we go, but a lot of attention has been put on Draza. And so far, he has started off red hot. 5 and 2 in a row. A little pop over the tank, trying to set up his teammates. Damage tallied onto Kleenex. Inside the long-standing duo, working with him, but Draza gets out of there. Little tactful retreat back to let the reset come back through. And as they do, 0-4 and Sip trying to clear some space, but they cannot deal with Insight over the middle of the map, and that'll be enough for Koi to get back on.
Yeah, I thought the initial setup right there for Vegas was perfect. You had 0-4 playing the OE, working around the backside. He was able to open up with the opening double, but it's just the pressure there from Coin through mid-cut. Doesn't allow them to hold on to this P2 the way that they wanted to. Now spawns flip. Koi in the driver's seat for the final 15. You had pressure up the middle of the map as well. Jodeci's not letting them get out of that side of the map for anything. They should be freely off the rotation to P3 uncontested.
Real on 4 in a row. Gonna lock down the scrap time and build just over a 20-point lead for Toronto, looking over to P3. One player trying to play spoiler. That's Simp. He has been unbelievable so far through 2 weekends, but he's already been red. Jodeci is going back to the play. Not able to win the first 1v1, but a Semtex cleans up Simp, and Kleenex is there to follow up on 3 in a row.
And you got the back spawns if you are Koi, so you can just funnel your way right back to the bottom side of the doorway. Eventually, you're going to get some trophy systems, but here comes Ofer on the pinch. He's able to find one. Your teammates are not getting ready to hit the goal button through top window, so he stalls enough time for the break for some much-needed time here for Vegas.
Joe cleans things up at the back, gets the regen, trying to double hit this as Riel's working his way from the underground. Able to find one pistol off for a second. No, and Draza almost turns away.
Good break.
But Insight has Toronto right back in the hard point. 20 seconds to fight for. Not done yet, though.
What a nade.
Over the top and through the window, but right into the waiting nade of Insight. One more player to try to challenge with Simp. Riel deals with it, and scrap time goes to Toronto.
And now there's only one player from Vegas who have the spawns that they want for
that Insight nade was crazy.
Chase him down, trying to locate where he went. Insight is able to spot him. Can he win the one-on-one versus Draza?
Oh.
He does not. So Draza, your job now is to just buy your life as long as you possibly can. But too many angles to watch. Joe Deceives sneaks behind enemy lines and spawns in favor of Koi, but Vegas in the HP.
Yeah, they're just going to wait for Riel to spawn up before Toronto tries to break this hill. Joe finds the opener. Riel making sure no one plays on the backside of this hit. And he's gotten a lot of damage in, but still falls. Simp from inside the hard point did his job and then some. A double leaves now the AR's left standing, and FaZe will clean things up. 30 seconds to fight, and Toronto are spawning really far away.
Yeah, Koi might not even have an opportunity to contest this again. You might just have to forfeit this and set up.
I'm about to say, I just go new.
Give it one last hurrah through the front door. Don't want to take some time to potentially flip you on that side of the map, but you can already see on your mini map Abuza hitting the long route, thinking about the long game. It's great. You can have this final 15. We want the mid-map control. We want to be early off the rotation to P5. A big one-on-one gunfight on the new time. Insight just stays alive. Good play.
Yeah, but Abuza top window is able to get one trade, and that's going to have FaZe with numbers as they try to quickly break this hard point, if you want to call it that. Kleenex was the last one standing, so it wasn't much of a force to work through. Little bounce back from Riel. Didn't like the look of what he saw, and instead Insight's going to call in the Hellstorm. Tie game. FaZe take the lead for a moment. Here comes the streak, though, down and raining right above this hill. And FaZe are scrambling, and they've done well to actually get out of the mix for a moment. Draza in some trouble top crate. Riel trying to fight him, and he's got help from Joe Deceives as Toronto will break and reclaim the lead of their own.
Yeah, they have the time for now. And they have the setup that they sort of want, especially with your players spawning in on that side towards back window. You know, it's time to turn around if you are Riel. AR hitting different, it's not in the hands of Riel there. Drops gets the better of him. Doesn't matter. Koi are going to walk away with a majority of the time here at the P5. Thankfully, Insight with that Hellstorm was the opener that they were looking for to be a little bit late off the rotation. But after our first set, you're going to find yourself almost up by 30 points. Got trophy systems this time around to have a lot more success on lockdown setups.
About as good as it gets for these two teams squaring up against each other. Everyone participating evenly. No one really running away with the scoreboard right now. And as we look to see FaZe trying to bounce back after this Toronto break, we're going to head over to a Vegas listen in.
I get time.
I'm back out. Bring in people. I'm back out. I have rank. That's fine. I have lock.
Gun. Jump window outside again.
Long week. Nice.
Spin window, guys. I'm getting.
Give me long. Josh, flip.
Okay. This one on me then.
Let's go. I left it. Yeah, Jamie, we go.
They cannot be from it.
Yo, counter out. Two con pass.
Okay. Yeah.
Two con. You're going Sam.
One, but he's deep back. He's deep back. Okay.
He's there. One's push up. One's push up. I spawned. One's right.
One is come clear. You know with
Outer lane up. That's right. Let's get up.
Have it 12.
I have Inner rail is fire.
I'll probably need that.
I'm here. I have outer, okay?
Yeah,
I'll shoot over your top.
let me know when you have mid. Let me know when you have mid.
Nothing mid.
Okay. One mid.
Mid's over. Hey, last shot. One shot. I'm a bullet.
Damn, he almost got 3 on it too. Good trade.
Yeah, we gotta roll here. Before I long, yes,
I spawn on the back.
Nice.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm fine.
He might take some right. Hey, I'm coming. Hey, left. Behind the pillar and low left corner. In the left corner.
I'm
right. Yo, spam tags.
How many steps?
Don't say anything up.
Stairs, real weak. Low.
I'm sitting right.
Back and forth, the pendulum swings. No one taking a commanding lead. This is just good team Call of Duty right now. Real off 3 in a row, finessing to allow Joe to get back in. And that looks like the scrap time's going to be good here, Jay. What'd you notice in listening?
Oh, the listening was fantastic. You could tell that Vegas was starting to account for everyone on the map, knowing what and when they needed to chow, consistently calling out the hard block, because usually you're expecting SMGs to create space, but it was actually the AR. Straza was so far pushed up through the middle of the map. You have to give that communication to make sure you win the rotation over towards new. But even when you had the rotation, Core broke through the front side of that P3. So they have.
And Kleenex is not having a good map 1.
For another break here at P4, you find openings through the backside, already combining for 2. You relieve the pressure on the HP, and the break should be clean, but Simp manages to stay alive.
And he's now off the regen. Help nearby in the backside corner as Koi are no longer really fighting for spawns. They're just trying to get into the hard point. Kleenex has to hold and wait, and as he does, 04 steps forward, finds good timing, up and over. Good help from Simp as the SMGs for FaZe, creating some space in front of the hill. And then the turn onto Real works out nicely as well as 04 gets his 23rd. And with that, FaZe are looking good to tie up this game again.
Yeah, now Koi got to forfeit it. You're going to be down by 5 or going over towards the P5, and I don't think that anyone has a health storm this time around to affect your setup if you are early off the rotation. You got time now. If you are Vegas with the remaining junk time to hit long routes, Simp gonna take his sweet time working all the way through Solar, trying to isolate this one-on-one gunfight while his ARs are taking all of mid-map away. That's all he needed was one. Spawns flip, Vegas find the break.
Yeah, brilliant moment here for FaZe. Toronto trying to play recovery. Inside able to shut down 1. Mid-map now being fought for by Koi. 04 down, but will be out. Simp over the top, waiting for a chance to collapse on this setup, but may have ran out a little bit of patience. Forfeits the spot up top, but still finds a kill at mid-map. But meanwhile, Toronto's on the hard point. 04 trying to break it with an SMG at some significant range, and somehow gets on for the contest. Goes up high, but Kleenex gets the read. Simp last one standing, and he's in a 1v3. Shut down, push back. Koi a chance to reclaim the lead here late.
All right.
Yeah, they got the lead. Now Vegas, as we go into our 3rd set, gonna try to play for that map control. Draza working through mid-cut, hitting a long route, but he's sniffed out by Insight, who has had so many clutch gunfights throughout this map. You have all of mid-map control of your Koi. You only need about 27 seconds to close out this map number 1, but all the fights in favor of Vegas.
Uza and Draza clear out the remaining Koi members over the top of P1. 223 is where it stops for Toronto. Insight clears out back third. Now it's just down to waiting for teammates so he can set up some sort of a pinch off the jump wall. He might not even be needed though. The SMGs again for Koi, cleaning up the hard point. Now it's down to finding the power position clearance as well. FaZe holding off, waiting for help. Try to rewrap this back through P2 stairs, but Insight is keeping the bottom side of window. Messi, that's 3 in a row. Draza with the response, but the trade is good for Joe, and Toronto are looking to possibly close the game.
They potentially close the game if they can get that final tick, but I don't think that Vegas are going to rely on that to set up over at the new hard point. Thankfully, a Draws and Nate is going to relieve that pressure there, but it's a dance, it's a rotation, it's a race over towards P2. Toronto have 3 players in the vicinity. You have 1 player in Draws to set up for the pinch. He's just banking on his teammates to get some kind of success. He's only able to take down 1. Koi should put the finishing touches on this one.
Should, but it's Abuza up top. Has he been seen? Yes, he has. Joe deceives off 5 in a row. Last couple of seconds. Joe, more shots for 6. And that should likely do it, but the contest is in the corner. Kleenex trying to clean that up, but not able to do it. Back over his insight. Gets over towards P2 stairs. Wants to try to win the game himself, but he can't. FaZe have to jump on. You cannot allow Toronto to set foot on this hard point. 225 to 249, and Toronto are taking their time.
They're just going to take their time. They need 1 wave of kills, 1 opening, and it's Real and Insight already finding 2.
Oh, and then Joe deceives, coloring outside the lines, is able to find an angle to help clear off FaZe from the hard point.
Good map.
Whoa, it got close.
Good map.
FaZe able to sneak away some contest time, but the lead just a little bit too large to come back with late. Toronto strike first.
Oh, man.
Kleenex did not have a great map. He did not have a great map.
When it came down to Vegas, being early off the rotation and winning that first wave of fights, that is where they struggled, man. Their setups weren't the best. They were easily getting picked apart. We're talking about getting a clean 4 dead. Now someone from Koi has to look for an opening. It's Insight, Insight, Insight. Takes the long route around.
Yeah, Scrim, we can play tonight for sure.
For the 3rd set of P1, finds the opening kill, and just staying alive on that side of the map forces Vegas to put focus on you. Someone has to look at a different direction and just creates openings now for his teammates to hit the time, find the break.
Yeah, Insight was frying that map.
A 19-point difference. Vegas definitely have shown improvement in their hard point.
22 non-traded kills.
Way too easily broken.
Yeah, sharing is carrying. The name of the game for Toronto as well. 3 players over, I think, 1:20 in the hard.
That nade was crazy.
Significant. 3 players in double-digit assists. Stat category that often goes uncherished, but one that is massive, especially when it comes to quickly following up on trades, or at least getting good team shots in. Not to say that that's the only difference maker here, because again, this was just great team Call of Duty between both of these squads. I love the way that you give FaZe their flowers.
Your PC saved you from not wanting to play COD anymore?
To put it plainly, in the opening weekend, but
I don't know if that would make me not want to play COD if I had to play on console, but you know, whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't get any tighter than that. 19 points.
That's all you got. That's all you got.
2 potential top dogs that we have throughout this entire season. They go blow for blow. It's just Toronto getting the last laugh there at the ending of that exposure HP. And now if you're Toronto, you're feeling confident as ever, because you heard the Deaths touch on it. Like, they're averaging 6 goals in Overload a game. Yeah, it's 12 to 1 in total score in that mode. So without question, the fact that they take the opening hard point, which they probably were expecting because they were the better respawn team, especially in this game mode, you're also facing up against a really tough Search and Destroy squad who's 2-0 on the map that they are playing next on Den. Yep. They played it in both of their series. They have unbelievable mid-round adjustments, and Kleenex or Insight, whoever's running that sniper, is making play after play. So your hands are going to be full here if you FaZe.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's just one of those situations, too, that you evaluate over the course of this.
Yeah, like I said, there's no reason to ever play on console if you have the money to build a PC or get a PC that is halfway decent. There's no reason to ever play on console, ever.
Nation to come through. They've only allowed 1 goal, so it's just both sides of the device have been pretty insane. And we'll be back on Exposure to eventually talk about that, but for now, we go to Den, where, in particular, we just recently watched Vegas play up against Paris on this map, and it was a blowout. 6-0. Paris looked lost. And I think just in particular, it's not even just that like Paris was unable to find any rounds. I think it was just how FaZe were setting up the map to be so favorable for them. First blood, sure, name of the game without question, but also just how they're putting pressure across the map had Paris just like unstable, it felt like, every single round.
Yeah, and I feel like that's going to be the key to success here for both teams, applying that pressure on angles that you can take the advantage spot and take that away from them on the opposite side. You're looking at players like 0-4 who did it last week. You're looking on the opposite side for players like Real who do it for this team now, rocking that new purple. So it's going to be an absolute battle of how many calculated risks you want to take through mid-statue, because we've seen it. If an SMG is able to isolate onto a player sitting at top windmill, either running an AR or running a sniper, if you just get underneath them, it's a free first blood. So you got to be on the lookout for what 0-4 and Real are going to be trying to do on this map.
Well, it feels like both teams have a very well fleshed out understanding of this map in Search and Destroy. As you mentioned, Toronto's played it a couple of times as well. Now, granted, reflecting on the caliber of opponent they've played here, especially when it comes to Search and Destroy opponents they've played here, has not been particularly high, but still, they're 2-0 the map, 6-3, 6-5, and still one of those situations that you find Real getting early success alongside Joe Deceives. Insight gets the chance to pull out a scope, first time we've seen it in a long time, and he's reminding everybody that, yep, when he was on Singularity back in Challengers, way back in the day in Black Ops 4, when we saw Modern Warfare, he was also pretty undeniable with it. So what do we get? How do we find the difference between these two teams? We're going to find out, as it's going to be Toronto offering an aggressive approach early towards B with the smoke and possibly a scale deeper into Dojo here.
Oh yeah, FaZe have no idea what this play call is. Smoke out your front side of Dojo. You can't read the early pressure, and that leads to Real taking all that space away and shutting down the playmaker on the opposite side in 04. Still a minute left to go. No trophies is the work. You don't want to rush the objective, and Draza makes you pay for it. 3v3.
Yeah, great counter nades.
Can't listen to directions.
Trade from Real gets us to a 1v2, manageable for Insight, but may have missed his window there. Lots of damage, but can't finish the kill.
Jesus.
Sub out one FaZe member for another to take the gunfight, and that works.
That was quick.
Isolate and collapse on what was a really small kind of opportunity, you thought. I mean, based on how the first blood was coming through, all you had was counter nades and AR lineups, and that works out fine for FaZe.
Yeah, it's just right there. Koi's play call was like, we're just not going to show any information over towards B. We'll throw a smoke. We're going to take that space away. If we find the first blood, great. But we don't have any trophy systems to work with, so let's just try to wait it on out. By the time
Dross's teeth look so fake.
Get the objective down. Nades raid supreme over towards that site. Even up the numbers, and then there's too many reinforcements there for FaZe to retake. And Draza is able to locate 3 on the round. You can always count on Draza to show up and Search and Destroy. The guy puts in non-stop work. They showed it there in round 1.
Pooh's going to take the AR to watch the outer balconies.
This is going to be a fun Search and Destroy map.
Seeing his teammate, getting some shots in, is going to take a little bit of extra motion through and over to the side.
Going to full wrap? Who's full wrapping?
Pause for a moment, smoke will come out. Maybe not. Thinking that they're going to just block off that front line of sight, but not the case. Sim's just going to jump on and plant.
Gonna get this bomb down. That's gonna connect close with the stun or nade. Is that player going to be weak? Abuza knocked down to 15 HP. It's all out bloodbath on the backside of the patio, though. Draza and Joe Deceives trade for trade. Still a 3v3, 30 seconds.
Yeah, Sip is just watching the shadow of Real the entire time. Shakes off the stun status effect. Finding 2 in small room. I mean, that was not a hero play necessarily, but as the lone man standing around in the site, getting 2 is unbelievable for FaZe.
Yeah, and if you're sitting there like, all right, eventually these guys have to put some kind of pressure on the bottom side of comms, but since they didn't set the tone, you know that they had to be building up for it. This time you take the play to them. You catch Real on the slide in. The team shot's good enough to catch Insight off guard, but Simp gets the bomb planted, secures 2 on the round. Mr. Do It All.
Yeah, he's going to be a pro.
Simp looks like he's fucking 12,
he's
bro.
Every year, but it just feels like this year could put him back into MVP style form. Here come Toronto again. Similar approach in terms of tempo to B. Smoke is also played in the same way as it had been in round 1. Problem this time is FaZe is not here to contest Dojo, and we're going to play a 2-2 split, putting a lot of pressure on Insight to get the read from the flank.
Oh, and he's at least able to spot both of them and almost walk away with both gunfights, but Simp gets the better of him. 35 seconds in counting. Real gets the jump on the opposite side towards Dojo. Finds the first kill, but Abuza somehow, some way is able to walk away with 2. Now all he's doing is trying to stall time, but the beat down there from Abuza. Who needs a Simp when I can get it done my damn self?
Damn.
Abuza locates 3 and FaZe take that round away.
That is unbelievable from Abuza. I mean, the initial I think they're sitting here unsure of how many members for FaZe are playing off that flank, and they try to isolate by getting deep into Dojo to set up their post plan there, but what they don't realize is that there are still 2 FaZe members here, and technically both are caught with nades out on this initial challenge from Real, but Kleenex and Joe are just a little bit too far back, and then Abuza's little finesse to the pistol and a little jab to the stomach will get things done as Joe just cannot quite lock down the shots. I mean, that is so dirty to try to fight up against.
Yeah, that's unreal right there out of Abuza. You played it right if you are Koi. Like, you get insight to give you information, 2 players on the flank. We got a 3v2. We have an extra gun on our side. Just didn't win the gunfights there versus Abuza. And right now, what is it so far on Den for FaZe? 9-0 flawless, have let to use around, but there you go. Jodeci's trying to turn that around with the first blood.
But does it matter? Because look at FaZe, isolating, playing aggressively, but Insight's able to find another. And while that play was developing, there was also another elimination through the middle of the map. So it leaves Simp by himself, 5-0. May want to consider if he wants to hold his life here, depending on what he sees, just based on the fact that he's close to a Hellstorm.
Nah, definitely potentially thinking about that in the back of his mind. You know, Kleenex has a sniper. We can try to turn it into a one-on-one gunfight, but it's just going to be trapped.
Good job, Real.
Koi are able to stop the bleeding. This time you find the first blood. If you're Joe Deceives, you instantly respond with the second. Out of the sniper play from Kleenex. Usually we see Insight with the boomstick, but Kleenex isn't afraid to make plays as well, and he's got one hell of a shot. Koi get on the board for the first.
And here's that shot from Kleenex. Just able to keep a shoulder in sight from Draza. So now the question starts to become, okay, Toronto, another good first blood. This time you convert. What do you call on this next offense? We've seen that same 3-man stack and smoke the dojo. Do you have something different to show FaZe to try to keep them a little bit more uncomfortable? And it looks like they may show a little bit of nade pressure at B, but this is obviously very different with the passive approach towards A.
Yeah, this is what I was looking for in that adjustment. Just playing for a spread setup, seeing if Vegas are going to be the aggressors on the defensive round like they have been in the past couple. But this time, you know, everyone's camping their spawn. You send it over towards rooftops. You find the first blood onto Simp. We shouldn't waste any time to just get this objective down.
Yeah. But just making sure they can...
Oh!
The 3-man hit from FaZe. They overwhelm Real. Joe still not comfortable up the plan. It's going to play for the kills instead. Red by Abuza, but doesn't win the gunfight. And from the front, the dynamic duo of Kleenex and Insight behind the other 2. A bold call, but it works out nicely for Toronto to get 2 in a row.
Yeah, it all starts with that first blood, man. Once you do that, you obviously put yourself in the advantage. You force FaZe to now have a different approach on their defensive setup. They decide to rally everyone in the backside of Dragon and fight their way outside towards Plat. You do even up the numbers, make it an instant 3v3, but then it's just all individual play. Joe Deceive sneaks his way through the bottom side of lobby, wins a massive one-on-one gunfight, because if he loses that, they probably gain the information that the bomb is going to be down. They could just back up, but wins a one-on-one at the same time all of his teammates do. So Koi now with 2 in a row.
2-2 split for the defense. FaZe also electing to spread the map just a touch. Abuza looking for snipes up top at mid. Insight may have gotten a read and says, nope, not going to bother with that. Instead, we'll play a little bit more safe towards the defensive spawn. And that'll give FaZe some room to work with here at mid if they decide they want to try it out.
Yeah, the shoulders being thrown if you are Real. You heard that Abuza took a shot. He's able to spot Kleenex, and Kleenex is not going to mess with that gunfight. But 35 seconds already down, and Joe Deceives is off the map. Like, Clayster is so damn happy Den is in the mix, I'm telling you.
Brother, we can't be falling off the map when there's not even a play developing yet. That's just not allowed. Here comes the play for FaZe on the site. Smoke embellishing the front doors at Dojo. Abuza was looking for a chance to cut off mid, but now has to likely get into the play as Kleenex will be isolated, taken care of. And Real in a 1v3, bomb being planted against him. Not looking all that likely. First shot misses though for Abuza. Chance to reload, but no, there's too many guns looking at him. Easy round for FaZe.
Oh man, imagine that. You jump up through mid-cut and both sides of outside of 10, both players have a sniper. 0-4 just picks that one up off of Kleenex. He said, all right, Abuza, you missed yours. Don't worry. I'll hit my shot. Courtesy of Kleenex. Thank you for dropping it for me, but that's just an easy round there for FaZe, especially when you know who's the guy that jumped off the map. Joe Deceives. Oh, this guy loves to play over towards B site. So let's just instantly take it, get the bomb down. 0-4 opens up with a double. As we got to take a look at it again. It's just something about this wall right now. You hit it the wrong way, you're just saying bye-bye. And unfortunately for Joe, that leads to a free round there for Vegas.
Pain and suffering. Okay. 4-2 the count. Joe, seeing if you can correct for those earlier mistakes. And FaZe are actually going to play a little bit more aggressively on the defense. Stun will read that. Semtex trying to find some damage onto Simp, but counter nades will once again keep Toronto at bay. But look at the quick route from Real. No one's going to expect this timing, or will they? The timing is just a menace. As Draza was coming back, Real finds 2. Simp's got nowhere to go, and Koi have the numbers.
Yep, that's just all based off of what Real did. Not afraid to make plays, runs right up the middle of that.
That was a fat rap, bro. That's insane.
Discipline to at least
what a rap.
A 1v3 now for Abuza.
He's cooked. There's no fucking way.
See the size 10 on the site.
Oh.
I know that he has a sniper, but quick scope. Yeah, that guy's pretty good with the boob stick.
Still a lot more to go through, and no, we'll be caught by Hole.
I'm about to say it's probably slow.
Boy, keeping us tight. But they're going to have to put a couple together here.
Was it 4-3?
A little bit more, not just in their favor, but closer towards round 11 prospects. And I will say, though, for this Toronto team, after what we saw in the first 2 attacks, I like what I'm seeing here offensively. Just continuing to try to put pressure onto this site, but doing it in a different way. The first round, it's the smoke at the front doors, try to survive through the nades. The second round is play through Dojo. The third time now, it's playing through mid, knowing you've got some freedom to do so to get around for the flank, and that works out beautifully.
Yeah, now we go into the swing round. 4-3. Koi back on the defense, and I think I'm going right back to that defensive look to that hat, just hoping that Joe Deceives doesn't fall off the map this go around. But connecting on the bottom side of couches, right up through the mid alley. And this is where if you allow 0-4 to be in this kind of position, it's only a matter of time before he takes more space away.
That's exactly what he wants. He's even going to go to where that nade just cleared out. Oh, and he's going to be sitting here just to watch for any defenders that try to rotate back through mid to hit this B cut. So all of this for FaZe hinges upon being able to find success on B to get the bomb planted so 0-4 can make a play. Getting a little impatient, he's going to maybe make a move, but no, this is all about, again, just can you get this defense to rotate back through mid to play the retake?
Yeah, you just want to back up Koi as much as you possibly can. But with time ticking, you don't really have another play on the horizon. You got to commit over towards B. Do Koi have a couple stuns or nades to make this not as easy? But
that wall bang is crazy.
Kleenex is able to find the first blood. Now they're outnumbered.
Yeah, Boost is able to find one. Timing of the flank was trying to come through because 0-4 had to make a play, but thanks to that elimination on the site, Joe Deceives could be afforded the luxury of looking for that flank, finds the elimination, and now Koi have the site. But do they have the vacancy to defuse? Still looking. They get a look at Abuza, but they have no idea where Draza is. So now you've reclaimed the backside of the site. Insight finds Draza, now you can stick. Abuza has to go. Mammoth finds the first, has to get up to deal with the second.
Yep.
Joe hops off, and that's enough for him to find the kill and allow Real to defuse.
Yeah, and that's right there. It's just a little bit too antsy out of 0-4. You got to know who you're going up against. These guys understand play styles. As soon as that bomb goes down, okay, it wasn't 0-4 who got the objective down, and we found the first one. Let me just make sure I'm paying attention to my flank a little bit longer. You're able to spot him. Abuza wins that one-on-one. But then at this point, actually, Abuza doesn't win that one-on-one. He's left in a 1v2 and stands no chance there. I thought Draza was their safety net. But once he's picked off, you already gained the information onto Abuza. Someone instantly hopped that defuse. And I love the play right there to Joe. Because my teammate was a little bit out of the play. Let me just hop off the site, can finish this kill, and then allow my teammate to hop the defuse. Tie game now.
That was a tense round and one that should be remembered because it really just comes down to where that first blood happens and forcing 0-4 to make a play. Snipe out for Kleenex, not gonna land. So he'll back up and take his attention to B, where 0-4 has stepped up a little bit more than we've normally seen from this FaZe defense. Real cooking a nade, doesn't quite land, doesn't quite matter. And in the meantime, Kleenex does connect onto 0-4 up close and personal, so now you can swing the bomb if you wanted to be for free. Real, though, will be found isolated. Insight following up, got the
damn.
And how about that for Toronto?
I told you, you let Real get underneath you, especially at your top window. It's just a lot easier of a gunfight there for an SMG than an AR or a sniper in hand, but Real really wasn't the reason why they won that match. I wish we could get the kill cam right there from Kleenex, because it was so up close and personal. I think he quick scoped the living hell out of him with a headshot. So a big kill there from Kleenex on the opposite side of the map leads to a very quick round there for Koi. Trying to take a 2-0 lead in this series, just one round away.
How dramatically things have swung in the last couple. So now it rests to the shoulders of FaZe's offense. 3-1 split. 0-4 just tossing a nade towards B. Now he's going to go join the rest of his forces, but Joe deceives, plays forward, but it doesn't make a difference. Simp is able to collat for 2, and with that read, FaZe can back off and play the 3v2, knowing the defense was heavy-handed at A.
Oh, but this is going to be the mind games play. You still have Simp, the bomb carrier, keeping his space over towards that A site. If you are core, you're thinking, all right, they're probably going to wrap it to the opposite side, especially because we were the aggressors over towards rooftops, but now bomb edging his way over towards this A site for free.
For free.
Bomb will be planted. Insight looking for something at range.
Oh boy.
Booza and finishes him. Now it's 2v2. FaZe may look to exit this post plant towards Dragon, and guess who's there waiting? It's Kleenex, but he gets overwhelmed. Just down to Insight. 1v2 situation.
Oh.
Oh, no force seen him. He can get away. Everything resets.
Ooh.
Still out. Nice shots from Insight on 4 in a row. Tries to go to the reload. Doesn't expect Simpy playing the opposite angle, and FaZe will get us to around 11.
That's just a perfect blind counter there out of FaZe. Like, Cole, you saw their play call. We're going to take A away from them and work that late pinch, but as we take a look at it again, it's Simp locating the final 1v1 to close out the round, but pretty sure he was able to locate 3 on this round. The trade onto Real, the wall bang onto Joe while he was weak, and then the finishing touches. They're onto Insight to force this round 11.
So critical right here for FaZe to try to get this back to level footing heading into the overload. They'll be on offense again. Similar look again. This is them just saying they're not going to run that same defense, so let's just keep the same play in our playbook and try to execute it on the way that it was designed. 0-4 throws that same nade at B. Toronto's defense now just playing on top of the site. Do they expect that Real is going to be sitting on top of the bomb? He's still staying covered. Trophy system is down. This is all about can Real confirm a kill, but no, Simp finds him first, and now a plant could happen.
Try to get the bomb down or just play it patient. His nades are about to reign supreme for Core. You have back plat covered, but Insight's a bad god timing. He realizes the bomb is getting down. You can't do anything about it. 4v3 on the retake.
And the trophy's gonna be so hard for Toronto to work through. Nade tagging that back Pladio.
That Pladio.
With the response elimination gets us to a 3v3. They'll take a moment of pause. There's the double chow. Though Draza comes away with 2. And how about all 3? Line them up, knock them down. After a 3-0 start, FaZe, the team that has to get it to around 11. And in back-to-back offenses, they provide to win.
Okay.
And it was back-to-back offenses as the aggressors over towards that A site. Punch coin in the mouth with the blind counter in round 10, but they catch them off guard in the round 11. I thought they played it beautifully on a defensive look. Just basically baiting, switching, allowing Real to stay on towards that site, but Simp is not going to get caught off guard. You know someone has to be in the vicinity. You find that first blood. You don't rush the objective. Eventually, when you fear that the space is cleared on out, then you get it down, but you take away that plat control. But not a single player from Koi watching you cross on that side. Vegas continue to shine in this mode, ice in their veins to the very end. And Simp and Draza were that dynamic duo who took over here in game 2.
11-5 with 4 bomb plants. Sheesh. Insane stuff. And this battle for what feels like will determine maybe a top 3 team right now in the early stages of this 2026 season. Has us going into an exposure overlord at just about as level as you could possibly imagine. 231, 250, and then around 11 for FaZe has us looking at that map number 3. Whoa, don't go anywhere. I know it's like we're wrapping up the year, but we're doing it with a bow, some glitter, some ribbon, other things that you might find underneath the Christmas tree in a couple of days. But for now, it's Christmas come early. Toronto and Vegas continue when we come back.
please, like, you're gonna check it, right? You're gonna check it. Oh, it looks one way. Envoy's on the other. The magic continues. Envoy gets 2. Scrap gets another. It's all on Nasty 1v3. I promise you, he's in that corner. It's his corner. It's Envoy's corner. Oh my God! The pleasantries exchanged between squads.
Backwards. 2 in the mix. Nero's gonna get go!
Go!
Send it. Go! Holy shit!
Oh, hold on, they're actually
Big
making
win.
plays.
Wait, there's only one guy. Wait, they got it.
bro.
What the f?
What are they doing?
What the f is Carolina doing?
Bro. He's in solar. I went left. Pinch left. Yeah, there's one deep back. I'm waiting. Renko, there's one deep there. Super good. Nice, 3-2. I'll try. Yeah, nice. Go. For the game. Boom. Holy yeah. What exposure. 8-0.
Monster Energy, the official energy drink of the CDL. Scuff, official controller of the CDL. Start the season strong with the 2026 Call of Duty League Pack. Grab yourself the CDL operator by scanning the QR code on screen or check it out in the Call of Duty store in-game now.
Welcome back. Call of Duty League hot and heavy here on Sunday, but how about Challengers this year? There has never been more buzz about Challengers. Of course, the Bush Gaming guys have brought a lot of attention, but shout out to the Optic boys with what they're doing with Huntsman. 2 different Falcons Academy teams. Brooklyn still in the mix. I mean, we've got eyes and attention with some major orgs, and that is just Challengers Cup number 2. Imagine what it's going to look like in January when we get to the first elite. 32 teams going to try to qualify initially, and then the action just gets hot and heavy from there. But I mean, we're talking these Falcons teams, QK and Roxas back in the mix, Asim and Manny on that squad, Arsenes, King Abadi, Paul X, and Priesta, the other team, Brackfellow, Nate, Aluka from the Submit Brooklyn squad. There's a lot of attention on Aluka right now, dude. I mean, there's just so many new names, and I imagine we're going to see some of them showing up in the league here not too far away.
Oh yeah, I think this might be like the biggest season potentially for Challengers players to have their opportunity to work into the pros. Just because, like, obviously we got an extra elite. There's a lot of former pro players who are in Challengers now with all the new faces that we have in the pro league. But dude, Challengers is going to be lit. So make sure you guys get a chance to tune in. Like Alan said, on January 7th, the first elite starts where all these amateurs are laying it all out on the line. But back to the main stage we go. Series is tied up at 1. We just had a grueler of a round 11 search and destroy. And now I'm really curious of what Vegas are going to do here versus Koi on Overload.
Yeah, I'm here for that, my man. I mean, it just hit me. We're going to have 7 full days worth of coverage and competitive Call of Duty between College on Monday, Tuesday, Challengers Wednesday, Thursday. Come on, we're thriving. We're all eating right now.
We're thriving.
Toronto, 4-for-1, the opening exchange with already Kleenex creating space over at A. Nades over the top. You think would only be able to do so much. They take care of Kleenex, but Real can still score in the opening moments.
Oh, that's good plays right there from Koi. You dominate the min-map control, you get 3-for-1 in the trade fights, and you already have players like Kleenex taking a lot of space over towards Dirt. So the first score uncontested in the first 45. Now off the reset over towards that solar area. You're not in the position to even contest this now if you are Vegas. Everyone coming off the respawn. Koi already in your spawn. And that's another 3 dead in the feed with the second score going in.
This is disgusting.
Stream's bugging.
Already off to the races and not slowing down. Finally, Joe's gets put to bed, but look at the play forward. Already off the next respawn of the device, looking towards a Real in a corner, shutting down Draza, who was just completely unaware of that play. Stun comes through. Real shakes it off, finds elimination, and we're looking at 3 easy scores right now for Toronto.
Yeah, just run it. Just absolutely run it. 3 scores in a minute and a half. Koi right now is just a different beast in this new game mode for the season. As they have just been beating the hell out of FaZe early into this round, but finally an opportunity that they were looking for. 2 kill goes their way. You have pressure in their spawn. You just got to get past Mr. Gold Defender and Joe Deceives. You do that and you put one on the board.
Yeah, just barely. 0-4, low on health, but able to get it over the finish line. Now a counterattack opportunity for Toronto. Nice shots from inside, clears off the solar panels. Device spawns right in front of the tank. Simp in the corner. Doesn't fully get clear, but Insight comes back to the battle, and then has a little bit more to say to 04. FaZe still able to find a couple eliminations, so that'll get him over to control this position as Kleenex has to fight for his life. Little pogo stick off the wall. Almost for 3. Joe for the trade, though, has Toronto right back in the mix.
All you're doing is not allowing Vegas to get a majority of the games in the feed. You keep on trading effectively, you're going to stand a pretty good chance of closing this one out. Now with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left to go, still feels like there's a lot of time in this round. Vegas have an opportunity now to put another one on the board. You find the initial 2 kills. You just got to get past Jamie Inside. He lines up a double. Push gets shut down.
How good has Insight been in these opening 2 weekends? Nate over towards tank, not quite going to land. FaZe still holding on to some good map control in front of the panels, but the device will reset right back over towards this P2 position. Insight able to still clear a corner, set up his teammates to possibly do the rest of the damage, but no. Abuza, Draza keep things level, and it's actually going to be Draza who picks up the device here, waiting for help still, as this will be a FaZe back up to mid.
Yeah, you don't want to continue to have this standoff with Koi when they're getting those co-spawns over towards B, so let's try to hit a route through the middle of the map to keep them on their toes. You're going back and forth. Now you have Sid trying to create a layer over towards Solar. He's able to line up a double. Now this is where you hit the go button. Let's try to add another one to the board.
Have Joe able to get some damage in. Insight stepping forward with a pistol, but it's Abuza up top. Real for 1, but not the second. No one else there to defend in time. And it's going to be all of a sudden a 1-score game after a fast and furious 3 scores for Toronto. We have 60 seconds to play in the first half, and FaZe are just down 1.
It's all about the mid-map control, and right now FaZe are dominating it. 3 in the feed, go down. You just want to value your life. If you are Real, don't allow them to touch the EMP. You stall out enough time to allow your teammates to not get back into the play. So 50 seconds to go. You're fighting for the map control. Only 1 player here to try to at least contest you in Abuza. He just needs to value his life, but he gets caught.
A rare moment of quiet here on Exposure. Insight back onto another 3-piece and looking for space behind the FaZe setup. He's moved the spawns, but Simps double from the front has Toronto reeling just a touch. Now it's on to Insight, and with a sub in hand, he's not able to find the long-range shots to Draza. If you can hold it on for another 17 seconds, Toronto will get another 30 to play with here in this first half. Trade over the middle of the map. Real able to find Abuza. Numbers now for Koi, but a little shoulder. I believe he knows that Draza's on this angle on the staircase, and you're waiting for a little bit of help at mid-map, but it doesn't come, and now it's just down to Joe. Has the ability to wait just a touch longer, but is going to have to likely do a lot of this himself, and the first pistol shot's not quite clean enough. We'll exit the half 3-2.
Hey, it started off really bad there for Vegas. And the fact that they were able to put up 2 on the board there with such a phenomenal start for Koi, and just keep themselves into the mix. They scored 3 goals in the first minute and 30. And then the final 3 minutes and 30 seconds, they weren't able to get anything done, and Vegas keep themselves into the mix. It was all about just that battle for mid-map. Once you started to find kills in sync, you're able to take some space away. But there was a lot of opportunities here for Koi to give up more points, but they just had a lot of clutch gunfights from certain individuals there. They take the early round advantage, at least going into the second half, but Vegas definitely show, oh yeah, we've been putting in work in this game mode too.
Yeah, and just good composure to just reset, slow the game down, get yourself into a possible, not just tie game, but just a way to fight back in the map overall. Another good break off for Toronto, and it's getting better as they continue to find kills behind the FaZe setup. 04 stops at least 1 more member from getting deep. Kleenex thinking about following through mid, but pushed back, and Toronto have to take a moment of breath.
Yeah, just want to find an opening kill. Kleenex works his way to flank through this window. The trade is there, but can he find kill number 2? No, he cannot, and now that's 3 dead in the feed. Ball is out of play now for Joe, so you're going to instantly try to work over towards A. Everyone on the opposite side, besides Joe, needs to iron up.
Yeah, but Abuza realizes this is a very dangerous spot to try to play with the EMP through, and that's why. Just so many angles off spawn that Toronto used to stop. Nice pistol shots from denied. Opportunity maybe for 04 to come behind this double from Draza, but Kleenex finds the key first, and Toronto can still try to defend this from ring. Draza try to take that position away. down low, but Abuza keeps him safe. 3 in a row for Draza. Give him 4. Now an opportunity is to swing this back over to B. Kleenex almost ripped off the heady, but there's still a blocker in game.
That's perfectly played there from Vegas. Draza just valuing his life at top ring, finding kill after kill, and then eventually your teammates join in on the party while they're taking space over at that solo area. So all tied up at 3. You still have map control in favor of FaZe. Now you got to slow down the game after losing Abuza. Just got to protect the EMP as long as you possibly can, but Real sniffs out 04.
Oh, what a nade over the top right there from Draza. You were calling it. You could definitely tell by the tone that you're thinking Toronto's got a chance to really take some space, but Draza stops it down. In sight, 1v1, able to find Abuza. Not quite able to get the second initially, but help is here as we led over to a coy listen in as they try to score.
Oh, wait. Oh, I fucked my respond there. Yo, deep left, shoot. They shoot deep left. Okay?
They're really weak.
There's 3 just running.
They're gonna hit up all right.
All good. I need
GP2.
Top take, Abuza. Dead.
Nice.
They wrapping.
Yeah, vintage. Under ring, sim. There's 2 ring, 2 low ring. Yeah, the ball is good low right. I think we're top ring, going right. They're going right. Stop ring. Stop ring the right, guys.
Just cut it. Just cut the ball. Set up.
Yep. One more ult. Yo, there's a long weak. Gone or blink. Gone. Dead.
That's 4. They're gonna be close again.
We're in a minute.
Elbow draw, weak, close left.
Elbow,
I need their shot, mate.
Yeah, he's gonna reach
Well,
out.
me, sim dead.
Nice, good shot.
Nice, good shit.
Yeah, one still. Nice.
Elbow dead.
Recon.
One more top it. No, elbow forward. He's taking the corner. Top it 3, top it 3.
Freeze, got me.
Okay.
He just came
right side of window.
Right side, Joe. Weak, absolute.
Absolutely. We could be calling together.
Absolute.
My bad.
I've got chase.
Could go con, guys, careful.
My back house. I'm gonna go middle
Nothing
left.
blue cut.
They have time here,
What's your
okay?
reset?
One back house.
It resets low right.
Yeah, I'm gonna push out the right, okay?
One back house.
One behind me in con.
I have con
Oh,
out here.
I'll push out the right.
Could pinch my P4.
On left side.
I think he's flying the left, right?
Yo, deep right double shot, absolute dead.
Nice. I'm trying to hold you.
One top. I've killed. Give me a sec, I think.
There's literally one more deep right of me.
Enough. Con now. Out front house dead.
Nice shot. Give me a sec.
Hey, behind me, blue cut. Last guy.
Yo, deep right.
One minute.
Weak, back right.
Their side long guy. Careful.
Weak. I'm absolute.
We're looking for Simb in mid.
I'll be mid.
Oh, what's that? There's one deep left, by the
I
way.
have blue cut. It could be
Yo,
longer.
one back left. Back
Oh, he's
B3.
our front ring, guys.
B3.
Another great moment there, though, Jay. You get 4 down, you think they're going to score, it gets pushed back against you. Toronto just kind of take a page out of FaZe's book, slow the game down, clear the angles you need to, and now we're tied again with 70 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, and it's only a minute left until sudden death, so you want to try to add one more to the tally if you're either one of the squads to just avoid that situation, and this might be Koi's opportunity to do so. Kleenex already taking a lot of space, finds the opening. Abuza and Sim combined for 2, but the pistol from Real wins the one-on-one. Koi had the advantage. 50 seconds left to go, and the new EMP spawn is over towards Tank, and there's only one player from FaZe here to contest.
And Real's just going to call straight into the Hellstorm. Can he pause the game long enough to put a ton of pressure onto FaZe with the clock starting to dwindle? There's the Semtex of the Hellstorm. Finds 04 for the first. The main missile hits Abuza. 30 seconds left. Jodeci is going to pick up the EMP to try to play keep away, but there's elimination in the field for Draza. Stunned to insight. Now he's in some trouble trying to lock down the corner. Shut down again. Draza's still alive and kicking, and FaZe have to try to grab this and go with any sort of measure, and they very well may find a way to hit this hard. Kleenex from behind. Insight and Jodeci is from the front. Last chance as Abuza drops, and that will likely do it as there's just nobody from FaZe close enough. What a map of overload, but Toronto is going to break this tie break with a flex map 3 win.
Man, that was blow for blow. And if you are Koi, you were happy that you were tested that way and were able to come out on top in those final moments. It just needed, they were looking for the key opportunities. When they got the 4 dead and instantly trying to send it over towards B, FaZe shut it down. But then you play it patient. You allow Real to come off spawn, run right past the EMP over towards her, take that space away for you to tie the game. But then at the very end for that final score, you just take all of mid-map away. You had the space to work over towards B. Kleenex finds the opening, and then Real, even with the pistol, wins a one-on-one gunfight to give Toronto the advantage in those final 40 seconds. They were able to hold them off. FaZe gave it one last chance there. If Draza would have found a 3-piece, that could have potentially been the opening, but just Ultra, I mean, I keep saying Ultra. Koi had so many different angles there, and just prepared for the crossfires. They shut them down for the final push, and now they're up 2-1 in the series.
It's going to be so hard. 3 of the 4 players returning. It's literally the same thing as when we had Seattle move to Vancouver. We called them Seattle for like half the year. Oh, but what a map of overload. It just continues to be a map and mode combination that provides drama. And initially you're looking at this like, oh, mercy. Like another 3-0 start for Toronto. Looks like they're going to have the fastest half that we've seen in Overload with a quick 4-0 start. But FaZe slow down the game, get themselves into a condition to where they can not just try to even the score, but even take the lead halfway through the second half, the third quarter, if you will. And it forces Toronto to have to make a last-second adjustment, turning down their speed to play for map control. And it's just really good awareness from both sides right now. I mean, it really has been fun to watch these two top teams battle it out.
Yeah, and I've been really enjoying just Overload in the mix so far throughout Black Ops 7. There's never a dull moment in this game mode. It could sometimes be where if you're just getting blown out, obviously you can no longer win. It's mathematically impossible. But when you got two of the best teams in the game playing that mode, going blow for blow, score for score, yeah, it's non-stop action and it keeps you on your toes. And now if you are Koi, up 2-1 in the series, you're feeling confident as ever, because when I went back and looked, pretty sure out of the first two series here for FaZe, they have auto-vetoed Colossus multiple times. Obviously, it's going to be early into the season. You got an extra week of practice underneath your belt. But this is one of those maps where if you're Koi, oh yeah, we got Kleenex who runs a flex. You can also run a third SMG. Oh, you're feeling super confident to close it out here.
Yeah, I mean, especially just off of yesterday's performance where Toronto just beat the snot out of Vancouver on this map.
Yeah,
I mean, it was just shoving it down their throats the entire time. Rotation, hard point breaks, not that they were really needed. It's just Toronto looked incredible on this map, and I would be afraid to watch them play. But to be fair, that was also in the face of Vancouver, who is definitely behind, to put it nicely right now. For FaZe, though, I think it's still the question. Like you mentioned, I'm glad you brought up the point. They've pretty much hard vetoed this map out every single time that they've played in any series to this time in the early season. But have you been able to not just find good playmaking on this map, but just in the mode overall? Like, this is still a team that has yet to win a hard point. Do you really think it could come here on Colossus versus Toronto?
Hey, maybe, right? They haven't tried it yet, so it potentially might be their first victory for hardpoint this season. The ARs have been what they have been playing for, at least the maps in hardpoint. They've been trying to get their ARs flowing, especially with Simp running that third, but now we're just going to throw something else into the mix. We need to get players like 04 and Simp activated. If we could just thrive through the chaos. And you're probably thinking, if you're Simp, like, that's what I used to do with my old FaZe lineup. This is maps we would used to really enjoy if we could have got Colossus with the BZ and Celium, because you had the raw talent to do it. But now we just got to throw something different in with this lineup. We need to get 04 activated, and I think a map like Colossus can definitely allow him to be the playmaker and just catch timings with that SMG.
Yeah, on the other side of this, talking about FaZe playing maps that really are designed to pull out a third AR or at least get Draza and Abuza comfortable. Now there's going to be a pretty immediate look to see what tempo Draza and Abuza are able to play at. Yeah. Needing to get involved, you would think, more regularly, as this is, again, just a complete mix fest. So, questions here for FaZe. Definitely feels like a map that should lean towards Toronto, but again, it's early. And we'll see if consistency is built into the recipe of what Koi can put on this map. Here we go. It's going to be Toronto on the right side of the minimap. FaZe from the left in the pink. Opening nade lands. FaZe trying to play for time on the hill, but shut down. And Toronto will be able to get a good read on where FaZe's remaining players are set up at.
Yeah, they'd lose the initial fights in towards the time, but at least for now, you have statue control. Draza and Abuza able to stay alive on this side of the map to give your team another chance. Now only 30 seconds here remaining at the P1. You already have players like 04 working on the pinch. Has a one-on-one gunfight there secured versus Kleenex. You're starting to think about that rotation, starting to think about what you can do on that side of the map, and just being the aggressors almost leads to them finding that kill onto Real, but they should have the numbers to secure these spawns.
Yeah, and that's just another early look that Draza comes off spawn with a Dravic in hand, so keep that in the back of your mind. Kleenex, nice shots, able to find himself on 3 in a row and creating a ton of space around P2 just before it opens. 25 playing up against 9, advantage on the scoreboard to FaZe, but huge setup advantage here for Toronto over towards 2 as Insight still finds the last shot needed to convert onto 04.
No, that's a big kill on 04, because if 04 pops that double, you're instantly spawning out, and then FaZe have an opportunity to chain it from P1 to P2, but they still might give themselves that opportunity as they find 3 kills through the front side. Real's just trying to stall time for your teammates off the back spawn to get back into the play, but nade stuns everything connecting. Vegas clean up house, a clean 4 dead, spawns flip, the break is good.
Yeah, and 04 has been all over the map right now. You saw him on that rotation attempt on the overextension behind the hill. Now he finds his way through the front at 8 and 4. So it will be a phase lead, reaffirmed by this scrap time. Sip down in the corner, his turn, just up and over, up and up, and now it's Abuza to finish off the damage that was there. Great final hold from FaZe over the 50-point threshold, and already putting 0-4 on rotation to do.
Yeah, he's just playing the cutoff. Already finds 2, looking for kill number 3, but does not locate where inside is, but just creating that opening now for your teammates to win the rotation freely over towards P3. Everyone's just got to iron up and watch in front of you because nades and stuns, everything is being felt right now on the side of Draza. But this time 0-4 whips out the AR, Hill-specific gun, and he's just keeping the cover fire going.
Yeah, Draza tries to follow up to clear out mid-map. His teammates will pass the baton and convert the elimination, leading to FaZe. Now up about 50 points. Toronto still largely trying to force this from the front. Nades are landing, but there's no ability to really influence the players on the hill. Toronto instead going to try to split by playing through tunnel. 0-4 is reading it, deals with the first, no problem. Sip comes back to help, and that's 3 dead. No chance for Toronto to get really any time at all here on 3.
Not at all, but at least for now, you still have the spawns that you want for P4. You just got to take care of Chris Slayer, and you do it quickly. So spawn secured now for P4. You find yourself down by 70. You need a good chunk of time to get yourself back into the mix. And you need to read the pressure from the front side because 0-4, AR, pistol, SMG, doesn't matter. He's popping off. 15 and 7. Breaks right through the front door. Spawns flip. Vegas in the driver's seat.
What a play from 0-4. And now Sip again behind that initiation can get involved, and now he's on 3 in a row, 12 and 6, able to get 13 before dropping. 0-4 back in the picture, but Kleenex gets the double. Insight clears off the last member inside the hill for now, but an aid keeps FaZe in the picture with the close spawns, and they battle back nicely. 25 seconds of scrap to fight for, and FaZe will have the clean feed as they move up the map.
And if you call, you just can't get any breathing room. When you're thinking, all right, we can find a break here, Vegas definitely have worked on this map over the week because their setups are basically unbreakable, almost up basically by 120 points after our first set, and 0-4 is on fire, baby. 128 to 26. We go back over towards P1 and FaZe are ready.
What a first rotation from FaZe. Draza, trophy system trying to keep him safe. Pops up for the first. Looks for inside down low. Clean shots. And now back up to the hard point. Has Kleenex on the mantle from the wall bounce. And FaZe can do no wrong. 14 and 10, 18 and 9, 13 and 9, 14 and 11. Everyone popping off right now for FaZe.
They're just controlling all of the chaos, man. They are firing on all cylinders. Everyone is popping pieces. Simp, your turn to get in on the festivities. Almost tries to line up with the ball bounce for kill number 4, but Vegas continue to run up the score, and I don't think Koi have got a point since P3.
I don't think they have it. If they got one at P3, it was...
Be right back, guys.